Hi guys, I thought I'd do a quick polytunnel tour or maybe allotment tour, and this polytunnel is very much a work in progress. So you can see at the back here it's quite messy, and I just have scraps and things that I've thrown around here. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. I think what I want, or what I will do this year, is maybe put cardboard across this just to kill off the weeds, and then maybe next year I'll decide what to do. We've plenty of wood here for raised beds, so basically the way I have it organized is three beds, and they're probably about 30 feet long, and I've just have bits and bobs planted around. So first bed here is more or less just corn, second bed tomatoes, and third bed is a mix of things, and I'll show you that now in a second. Along here just I had a bit of space, and I had some spare watermelon plants. I think they're called Sugar Baby, which are supposed to be an early variety, so I have four of them planted in the ground here. Again, lots of mess and clutter. Here we have a Cape gooseberry. Again, I actually got this last year, but I haven't really looked after it at all. It's starting to put out fruit now, which is pretty cool. It's quite vigorous actually. It's taken off a lot. This is like maybe 8 inches tall, and now it's probably nearly a foot and a half, and it's grown like that in 2 or 3 weeks. Here we have our Ronde Bordeaux, which I showed in other videos, and it's kind of taken its time to get going. It didn't have much of a root ball in it when I took it out of the pot and planted it, so I don't know, maybe we had some vine weevil problems with this one. But you can see there it's actually putting out a crop, even though it's quite slow. Some strawberries here. Here we have some conflay that I started with seed. I'll probably put these around the corners that I don't really want to plant anything in. Sunflower. These here are electric daisies, and they've taken their time to get going, but apparently the flowers off these make your mouth go numb, and they fizz up in your mouth as well. Tomatoes, you've got some heirloom varieties here. I think Brandywine, I think, is the name of the one that I have, and then just a selection of others, kind of, standard store-bought varieties. This is our B&Q Unknown. It was labelled as a brown turkey, but it's certainly not a brown turkey. But it is loaded. Every single node on this tree has figs on it, so it's looking great. Guavas that I showed. These here are some strawberries. I had them planted outside in the bed, but the soil I got wasn't doing too well, so I dug them up. Or sorry, the soil wasn't actually very great, because the strawberries themselves just weren't growing at all. So I dug them up, and they're starting to come back now. More figs. These are 2 new figs that I got this year. They were cuttings. This is a Michurinska 10, which is supposed to be really early ripening main crop variety, and then this one here is called Lampiera Preto. It's supposed to be really good Breba producing variety. I think this is San Pedro, so the main crop won't actually ripen up here in Ireland, unfortunately, because you don't have the wasps. So you can see here I'm actually pulling off the figs that it's producing. Along here we have, what's this fig? Verdone, I think it is, and it is a bit of a slow grower for me to put out figs this year, so hopefully I get to try this one. This is Mashua, which is a South American tuber. I think it's related to nasturtiums. As you can see here, this is actually a nasturtium and very, very similar leaf pattern. But yeah, it's doing great. Looking forward to trying that one. Peppers, I planted them too late, or I started them too late, so they're kind of only getting going now. This is more Sugar Baby. Watermelon. This here is Oca, another South American tuber. I have these planted outside, and I just had one spare, so I thought I'd throw it in here. I think it's probably a bit too hot for it in here, because you can see some of the leaves are getting burned. The ones outside are doing a bit better. This here is my Carolina Reaper plant. Started this last year from seed, and overwintered it in the house, and it was doing well, and then I brought it up here. And I think it's really, really hot in this tunnel, and I think it probably got a bit of heat stress, and so I gave it some feed, and it seems to be coming back now. Here we have kuka melons, which I just planted. I'm going to have to build a trellis for these to climb onto. This one here, I'm really looking forward to trying. It's just called a yacon, another South American tuber. It's otherwise known as ground apple. So it looks like a sweet potato, but it's supposed to have a crisp, sweet texture and taste like an apple crossed with a pear. Here's another one here. What have you got here? Basil and marigolds. I think I started them too late. Leftover tomatoes. Oh yeah. Here we have some peanuts. This is just, I don't know, I seen them in the seed catalogue, bought them. They're only getting going now. Some of the other ones I have up at home are a bit further along, but yeah, it gets super hot in here and I think they dry out a bit too fast. Here's another exotic. This is yam bean. I think they come from South America, maybe Mexico, and they grow like a bean. So I have these poles that they grow, but they have edible tubers, and I think they're supposed to taste similar enough to yacon, so they're supposed to have a sweet, crisp, maybe apple pear-like flavour. Sunflower, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with this part here. I had some, because I have some watermelon spare, threw that in there. I might put squash in here, we'll see. Next here is my autopot trial. So for anybody who doesn't know what autopots are, they are passive wicking pots, and basically each one of these pots is connected by a line to this tank here, and inside these, I'll show you now, at the bottom of the pot, or each pot sits in a tray. Each tray has a valve that's connected to the tank, and basically what happens is that when the water fills up, this float lifts up and then stops the water from coming in at a certain height. Then only once all of that water is taken up, then will it open up again and allow more water in. So basically the plant dictates when it needs to be watered or fed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that. I'm just letting it grow out a bit first before I turn the system on. Here's our pomegranate that I did a video on a while ago. Still not looking great, although it's starting to come back a bit now, but you can see some branches here are just dead. I might have to prune them back later on, but you've got some flowers opening up here. There's some there. Where's the other one? There was another one there. It is there. It's starting to wither away, but you can see a few more starting to pop open here, and there's loads more flowers popping out over here. They do look like male flowers, however, so hopefully I might get a female on there at some stage, but it seems to be coming back. I might start feeding it now. Moving on, this is our Hucret fig. Haven't tasted any of these yet. This is a 2-year-old, but you can see some figs on there. This is my other pomegranate. Smaller, it's coming back again, but you can see top growth just died off. No idea why. This is another in-ground. I think this is Nero. Is it Negroni actually? And this was actually one of my, probably the most vigorous cutting I've ever had until last year, and I got a really bad bout of FMV. So you can see all this distorted leaves and whatnot, and it's not doing great. Although there are some limbs that are starting to come out, which are looking a bit better, and it's putting out some figs, but if it had any of the vigour that it did in the last 2 years, this would be much bigger by this stage. But we see, I might do some rejuvenation pruning on it. And just more figs. All of these are buried pots in the ground. Some are doing good, some not so good. I think I've had some very severe cases of FMV, and obviously vine weevil damage. You can see this one here. This is another early ripener. It's called Cane, but it had some leaves and it just dropped, but it doesn't feel quite steady in that pot, and I think maybe vine weevils got in there. So that's Cane. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hope for the best, really. Hopefully it comes back to life. Next is, I actually don't know how you pronounce this, long de Toit or Diat, I don't know. And you can see here we have this massive breva on here. Again, a bit of a slow grower. Might have some main crop forming there. I just fed it recently, so hopefully it will get going. Next here is Sultane. This was badly affected by FMV as well, you can see there in the leaves, but it seems to be coming out over here, and we have some main crop forming. It formed the main crop last year but dropped them. So hopefully these will hang on for me this year. This is another shoe crate. I'm putting out some more main crop as well. Allotment, again really bad FMV. It's my French unknown. No idea what type of fig this is. This is my grapevine. I actually had about 4 grapevines, all of which were killed by vine weevils. My own fault really, because I should be on top of pest issues and that. But this is a variety called Himrod. I'd read a bit about it. It's supposed to be really good dessert grapes, so I'm going to plant that in the ground once I decide where to put it. Here's my mulberry. Well, this is a cutting I took off my dwarf mulberry, Charlotte Russ, and it's doing pretty well. This one here is a Nero 600M, and this is looking good. We got some Brave on there which are looking great, but at the same time it's actually forming main crop, so if I can figure it, there you go. So looking good. I could pull off the Brave crop and allow it to force its energy into main crop, but I just want early figs, so I'm going to leave them. Over here we have again more figs, brown turkey here, which is well ahead into main crop. We have a white currant here which I have to plant out. This here is a kiwi vine, this is a hardy kiwi, and it's Issa is the name. Again, I'm going to be planting this in the ground, just haven't decided on where. I'll probably get a few more varieties as well because I have enough room for them. Third in ground, and this is our improved Celeste. Again, this is really badly FMV'd, as you can see here. It seems to be growing out of it somewhat, so you have some healthier growth here in this limb, and again it's forming main crop. Last year this put out tons of figs, but they all dropped to me. You can see here some of the leaves just aren't hanging on either, so that's pretty bad FMV on that one. But yeah, look, it's starting to look up, so hopefully this will do better as the season goes on. And we have some goji berries. These are a variety by a company called Lubera. It's called Instant Success. I actually had this planted in my ground out the back garden, and did very well. Got very big, but never put out any fruit for me at all. So I decided to take it out. It was taking up too much room, and I basically just took cuttings off it, which is really easy to do, or it's very easy to root as a plant. So I think what I might do is just grow it in here in the polytunnel, in a pot, to see how it does, because as far as I know, most of the goji berries that are produced worldwide are in China, and the region in China that they're produced in is much hotter than it is here. So I'm thinking maybe that the heat might help produce, or maybe get them to produce or to flower at the very least, and hopefully produce a crop. So that's how we're looking at the moment. This is going to completely change next year. I've plans for turning this into maybe a fig house, subtropical fruit garden. I'm going to acquire more plants, fayos, Chilean guavas and whatnot, and maybe try and get them into the ground. I'll do another video on what the plot is looking like outside. See you.